I thought we weren't efficient in running the football. I thought we had a lot of drop passes. The thing that we did well was really in the second quarter we big played them. All right, and that's something that we've put an emphasis on really all through the offseason. This is one of the games that kind of sparked, our talks about efficiency and just high percentage throws, high percentage plays, and making sure the run game's popping effectively. And that's when you look back and see how they played us last year. They played us how they normally play people. And I think once we didn't capitalize on running the ball efficiently and the drop passes, I think they just started playing more man on us, and they I thought were a more physical team as well. So that's something that we've got to be on point with this week, is making sure that we're playing with the physical edge, we're taking care of the football, we're making sure that we're doing high percentage throws and being efficient with the football, and pick and choose when we want to big play them.
So with that efficiency, you're just 2 games in. Can you judge it accurately yet, or is this way too early to say, well, we're a whole lot more efficient?
I think it's way too early to say, but I think we're on track to where we want to go. I think a lot of that too is just the maturity of our team. I think we're a different offense than where we were last year, just because of the amount of snaps these kids have played. We wanted to play last week. I thought that was going to be big on just getting another game under our belts before we went into conference play. But you got to just roll with the punches on that and make sure that we're practicing well and practicing and getting better each week at what we do. Because as you can see when you sit around and you watch college football all day Saturday, it's a pretty tough league, and we got to make sure that we're continuing to improve as an offense throughout each week.
I know it's a small sample size, but you're converting third downs at a much higher rate than last year so far. What's changed, and why are you converting at such a high rate so far this season?
There's a lot to it. It goes back to the maturity. It goes back to the efficiency talks that we've had a ton of conversations about. But I think a lot of it goes down to the amount of time we've spent on third downs. We sit down as a staff. I go through it 3 to 4 times a week with the staff to make sure that we are on point with what we want to call in these certain situations. So a lot of it's coaching, a lot of it's putting these players in a better position to have success, and I think it's also just the maturity of this group of guys.
Dana mentioned that what you're seeing from them is a little bit more aggressiveness, a little more man coverage in the back end than the guys. You have to kind of go in it with the plan of, okay, we may see both, we may see zone, with the way they go about their things, and be patient or take your shots. How do you approach that?
Right. I think we have to be disciplined with really our communication. Just understanding what they're trying to accomplish on that play. And I think they caught us in a few things last year when we had run game called and they shot to a blitz or to a box that was outmanned. And we just didn't get into any audibles. We got to make sure that we have a good feeling of what they're trying to do to us and make sure that we get into the right play. It's going to be a big week for Will in terms of managing that, because you sit there and you study a lot of tape on them. There's not very many tendencies these guys have. You just got to make sure that these kids are on point. They're making sure that they can catch them in the right scenarios and communicate it out to everybody and make sure everyone's on the same page.
So maybe it's a matter of letting the play clock go a little deeper to make sure you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is get Will up on the line and just let him decipher it. It's they do a good job there. It's a Bill Snyder coach team. They continually get better. Like I've been trying to say about our offense, we need to as well. You can see the difference of their defense from week 1 to week 3. They're playing at a higher level than what they were at the beginning of the year. They're just going to continually keep getting better, and that's something that we've got to make sure that we're doing the right things from an offensive standpoint, because they're going to be ready for everything we throw out.
K-State sort of sparked the conversation. Is this a measuring stick game, you think, to know how far you've gone as far as efficiency goes?
Yeah, I think when you start conference play, that's when it's going to matter. We've had a lot of talks, like I've been saying, but this is going to be time for us to go out there and see what we're capable of doing. But I think anytime you get into conference play, you got to make sure that you're playing efficient football.
Back to what you said before, is tempo kind of these guys, or can you use tempo against them a little bit and dictate what they're doing?
I think you can do a little of everything.
Yeah.
You can. At some point we got to be us. We can't completely change who we are just for one opponent. But there's some things that we can do definitely to play into our favor.
Obviously, there's a huge difference in personnel wise from Mississippi State to UTSA. But what did Mississippi State do in the run game that gashed them so badly 2 weeks ago?
They're a running football team. They do a lot of quarterback run game. That's why they do play a lot more man. They played a lot more man versus Mississippi State because they were doing a lot of quarterback runs. So they're going to get that added hat into the run fit just because of the threat of Mississippi State with the QB run game. Which that's just a whole nother dimension. You guys saw that with Pat White for all those years. It's defenses are going to play them differently than how they're going to play us.
Go get Will 15, 16 carries this week.
No, I'm out of that business.
Jake, with Pat White and Steve Slayton going in the school's Hall of Fame this weekend, I was just wondering if you have any memories of watching them play and maybe thoughts on what those two guys mean to this program.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of them growing up. Just I don't know where exactly I was, but just they were fun to watch. I really thought that they put West Virginia on the map for me. For a lot of people that were in the Midwest, a lot of the Big 12 opponents that we go up against. I think the Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, those guys put everybody on the map. They were fun to watch. They were. You watched them versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. I think Steve Slayton went off early in that game, which caught the attention of a lot of people. And then just to watch Pat White throughout his career, it's pretty cool to sit here and be a part of that and watch them get inducted this weekend.
Jay, going back to tempo, it seems like there's been a little less of it other than in the hurry up after a first down to maybe catch them in a package. Is that perception true, and is there a reason behind that?
For us catching
Yes.
them in
Yeah.
a certain deal. South Dakota did a little bit of that to them.
I just meant overall, what you've done so far this year.
What we've done.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is picking and choosing when we want to take our shots. That's I was big on tempoing after a first down and try to get a shot downfield, try to get something cheap. I think just over the course of time, I think with all the efficiency talks that we've had, I think it's good for just us to kind of not do that as much and make sure that we're in the proper play call.
Jake, do conference games feel different just because of familiarity with who you're playing? I mean, you probably remember guys from last year. They certainly remember you guys.
Yeah.
Scouting reports only change a little.
Yeah, they don't change very much. You still see a lot of bodies that played against us last year, just not in starting roles. They do play a lot of different guys throughout the course of the game. I think going into the UTSA game, they're a little bit banged up in certain areas, so you see a lot of the backups playing in major roles. But you watch how Coach Snyder does his program and how he develops them throughout the course of special teams, and then they end up being in the nickel packages and substitutions, and for the D line and safeties and linebackers, they play them periodically throughout the game. You see them go from a special teams role and a minimal role into being a starter. So we've a lot of familiar faces. They're in a major